But he nevertheless had all the time in the world to sit and chat. He was in that sense, he was a quintessential Bengali because after he finished work, he would sit and give adda, non-stop. However, let me be very brief. One of the things that he reminded everybody all the time was a word that he used endlessly: be reliable. What he meant by that was very simple. If you make a commitment, keep it. Otherwise, don't make a commitment. If you don't make a commitment, no one can question what you're doing. You don't do it, that's fine. But if you make a commitment, keep it. Reliable was a word that he used constantly, be it in business, be it in personal relationships, be it in everything. Which is why his bonding with his friends, with his family, with his business colleagues, with every person that he came in contact with was long-term, it was durable, it was honest, and it was a no-nonsense relationship. That's the one thing he couldn't tolerate: people being sycophants. Jerry, over to you.
Thank you, Shikhaji.
I love to introduce you to Jerry, but it's so tough. It is so tough to introduce great people. I tell you, they are the ones who speak best about themselves. Really. So Jerry has encouraged me, so I'm not going to intro him. Any person who's going to be with you for 45 minutes, his presence will be his description. Okay? Yeah, Jerry, welcome. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Renuji. And thank you, everybody, for having me here, to the Paul family, to everybody in the APJ group. So, namaste, everybody. Is that the best you can do? Namaste. I don't like that. Please stand up. Please stand up. Kindly stand up. Yes, let's have energy. So please stand up and along with me do this nicely. Namaste. 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 Thank you so much, but don't sit down. Okay, now we'll start with a small exercise. I'm going to say 1, 2, and 3. All right? With one, you all have to, when I say 1, with 3, you have to say, I am a real hero. Are we ready? 1. Human, not person. Human, listen to me, okay? 1 is? 2. Extraordinary? Okay, 3. I'm a real hero. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. One voice. 1, 2, 3.
I'm a real hero.
Thank you so much. Please sit down. Please sit down. Thank you so much. Anything, I can only make you think. So I'm not going to preach to you from the gallery. We'll make this interactive. Are we good? So to make it interactive, you need to participate. You need to answer me when I ask you something, and you need to share your thoughts with me. Will you share your thoughts with me? All right. I started by saying namaste. I start every program, whether I'm speaking somewhere in India or the US or Bangladesh, which I'm going to do next week, anywhere in the world. I start with namaste. Right? Any idea what namaste means? Sorry? Welcome. Okay. Most of you use namaste in day-to-day life. How many of you use namaste in school? Namaste with your parents. Very few, right? What is my name? Did you get my name? Jeronimo Almeida. Don't even try pronouncing it. That's the name my parents gave me. Even they couldn't pronounce it. So they shortened it to Jerry. Right? Okay? So you can all call me Jerry. All right? So I learned the meaning of the word namaste because I have not really grown up using the word, right? Any idea where I am from? Sorry? Goa. Okay, anyone else? Spain, very nice. Anyone else? Oh, Iraq. Canada, all right, okay, very nice. Sorry? India, very nice. Am I Indian? Or am I a Goan? Okay, I am from a place called Goa, but I don't like calling myself a Goan because I always joke. I say, show me the Indian in India. Are you getting my drift? You find very few Indians in India. You know what I mean? Right? So, it's a lot of pride to be an Indian because a lot of the wisdom which the world gained from came from India. And while I was reading Mr. Jeet Paul's book, and that's the reason we are here today, I realized that he also valued Indian and the Eastern wisdom. And somewhere in his book he writes that instead of promoting those ideas and taking them to the world because those were the real ideas, yeah, we've ended up adopting the mindless ideas of the West. And I share that sentiment. This is what I keep speaking about. Yes? Okay? So what does namaste mean? Way of greeting. The gesture is the greeting, but what is the meaning? What is the meaning of the word namaste? Saying hello. Hey, what's up, dude? Cool. Right? Okay? Anybody else? What does namaste mean? No idea? Sorry? Pranam? Okay. So I'm not really grown up using the word, yeah, because I was born in a so-called Catholic family, yeah, in Goa, right? So we didn't use namaste much. And I actually learned the meaning of the word when I was around 33 years old while speaking in a place in the Americas, yeah, where I learned the meaning of the word from a black man called Pastor Eddie Smith. Any idea where Eddie Smith comes from? Where could he be from? Africa. Anyone else? Africa? Sorry? West Indies, okay. Sri Lanka, okay. What? New Zealand. Anyone else? USA, all right. Why did you say Africa? Sorry? You thought what? Take the mic.
He has a name.
He has a name. So the name told you he is from Africa. Okay. Come on, be truthful, be honest, okay? Honesty is a value. Now, the reason you said Africa or West Indies is because I put a word over there called black, right? So that gave you the wisdom that he could be somewhere from South Africa or Africa because it's black. Well, guess what? There are a lot of Africans in India also, in Gujarat. It's a tribe called the Siddhi tribe. But you wouldn't know that, would you? Did you know that? Did you learn that in history and geography? No? No, right? Okay. So Pastor Eddie Smith is of African origin, but he lives in a place called Philadelphia in the United States of America. And I speak in a lot of forums telling the stories of real heroes, right? And I'll tell you what real heroes are, and that's what we are here for today. The hero in me. And when I learned the meaning of this word namaste from a black man called Pastor Eddie Smith, I was blown by the wisdom of this one word, right? And namaste basically means that the God in me salutes the God in you, right? The God in me salutes the God in you. The divinity in me salutes the divinity in you. Are you okay with that? Do you know the meaning now? So it's a very powerful word, but we don't use it because it's not so cool, right? Now, Pastor Eddie Smith talks to young students and tells them it's the coolest word because it's the God in me saluting the God in you, right? It's more cool than what's up, dude. Agree? Yes or no? So will you make namaste a way of life? Are you proud Indians? Yes or no? Why are you proud? Because you're Indians? All right. So what do you know about India? Sorry? Because India has many heroes. Can we just have someone passing the mic here? Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass the mic to you and then keep passing it on to whoever wants to answer, right? So we'll make this interactive. Yes.
Because India is filled with inspirations.
India is filled with inspiration. What else?
Heroes.
Heroes. Can you get... Okay.
I'm going to connect to the studios. I'm going to take you, Preeti, and everybody live as the thing is going on. 37 lakhs are listening.
All right.
India is rich in cultural heritage and my favorite cuisines.
Is that right? Very nice. Now, if the children know that, why do the grown-ups not know that? Would you agree? The grown-ups have got very Westoxicated. Right? And that's what is being percolated down. Now, India is very rich in its heritage. Now, let me tell you a little about India before we go into the topic called the hero in me. I love India. I'm a very proud Indian. And I'm not jingoistic. I'm truly patriotic. The flag flies in my heart. It doesn't fly only on 15th August and 26th January. Right? Now, let me tell you something. We learn a lot from the United States and all the Western universities. Everybody aspires to go to Harvard. Everybody aspires to go to London, whatever. Right? And I remember I was doing a talk in something called the John F. Kennedy School of Public Administration, which is in Harvard University. All of you know Harvard University? Yes or no? Yes. Brilliant. And in that gathering of around 600 students who were learning public administration in Harvard University, I saw a lot of Indians. At least 45% of them were Indians. And I couldn't help because I have a huge kida. To take digs. And I said, you come here to Harvard in the United States to learn public administration, right? And the director, the course director was there. David said, what are you saying? I said, because who gave the world public administration? Any idea? Where did public administration as a concept, as a learning originate? With whom? With whom? John F. Kennedy, Gandhi, with whom? With whom? Public administration. Centuries ago, Chanakya, right? Brilliant. Thank you so much. Where was the world's first urban civilization? Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, right? Which is where? In India, what is now called India, the first urban civilization. But if you see a lot of SEZs in the country, they are being built by Americans now. We've forgotten our own wisdom. Yes or no? Where did yoga originate? India. No, US. India. Yes or no? Yoga originated in India, but we adopted it only after the Americans adopted it. So why have we become such Me Toos? Why have we forgotten our thought leadership? A thought leader is a hero. I asked you all to say what? At the count of one, what did you say? Why did I ask you to say I'm a humble human? Why? Why humble human? Some friends on the stage. Why are you a humble human? Come on, tell me. Who wants to tell me? Friends on the stage. Why humble human? Yes. All right.
Would you like to send across the city of Kolkata children right now?
Why humble human?
Sir, because the God in me saluted the God in you.
All right, but why humble human?
Sir, because I bow my head in front of all the elder people and I respect all human beings as an equal.
Okay.
And I didn't treat the person you talked about like the black people, and I don't treat them to be different.
Okay. Very
And-
nice.
It's just it. That's
Very
it.
nice. So what you're saying is you can treat everyone with equal respect.
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me tell you this. It's very difficult to be a humble human because human beings by nature are not humble. You have to practice being humble. And that's the reason I asked you to say, I'm a humble human first. Because humility is the great quality of a hero, which again, Mr. Jeet Paul embodied in his living as a human being. All right? Okay? Second, I asked you to say, I'm a, thank you so much. What is your name?
Sir, Jubaraj Mukherjee.
Sorry, Jubraj.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jubraj. Okay?
Culture, it is Vidya Dadati Vinayam. That means whatever education you get, that gives you the humbleness.
Hopefully, hopefully. But you have to practice humility
So
because,
that is the practice of education.
yeah, the humility, practice humility, which, what does humility basically mean? What is the definition of humility? Equal respect for one and all. Be it Youngsters like you, be it elders, be it a person who's cleaning the streets, be it the CEO of a company, be it the Prime Minister of India. You have to give equal request to one and all. Second, I asked you to say, I'm an extraordinary. Louder. Extraordinary. Why extraordinary leader? Why? From humility, I go into extraordinary. Why extraordinary leader? Yes. Yes, ma'am.
But I do hope that this
So that we can encourage others to follow us.
Very nice. Thank you so much. What is your name?
Srija Majumdar.
Shrija Majumdar, right? So that we can encourage others to follow us. Yes, sir? Can you please pass on the mic? Thank you, my friend. Yeah?
what is going on. We got to watch
All right? So that you can encourage others.
amazingly superb. Thank you
Yes?
So that we be our own role model.
Very nice. I like that. Give a big hand, please. Right? If you are not living a life of discipline yourself, if you are not a role model yourself, how can you encourage others? So everybody has the extraordinary potential within them, but are you unpacking that by being humble? And third, I said, I'm a real hero. Why did I say real hero? Why? Yes, sir.
And before Jerry continues, let me tell you, we are live right now on 91.9 Friends FM. Could we have a big noise?
Whoa! Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy. Yes.
Jerry, there are 37 lakh listeners tuned in. You've been imparting such an amazing line of messages with these children. The hero in you, the namaste style of introducing oneself. What would you like to tell those 37 lakh listeners tuned in right now live on 91.9 Friends FM?
Be humble to find the extraordinary hero within you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Back to you, Nilanjan,
All right.
at the studios. Thank you
So
guys.
I'm getting the
Thank you so much.
message. So why did I say real hero? Who comes to your mind when I say superhero to you? Who's the superhero? Batman.
No.
Superman. Spider-Man. All the guys who wear their underwear above their trousers. Right? Yes or no? Yes or no? My dad. His dad, her dad surely doesn't do that, right? Now, what comes to your mind when I say heroes? Shakti Kapoor? That's scary. Sorry?
I have a difference. When you say the word hero, actually it comes to my mind the patriotism which prevailed in India and helped to bring us the independence.
I love you, man. I love you. What is the name?
Adrit Banerjee.
Sorry?
Adrit Banerjee.
Adrit Banerjee. Thank you, Adrit. Okay. But what really comes to people's mind when who do we glorify as heroes today? Who do we glorify as heroes? Someone who is? Flying. Okay, that's a superhero. Someone who's flying with the underwear worn above the trousers, right? Sorry? No, but who do you read mostly about in newspapers, or who do you watch on Arnab Goswami's show? Sorry? Mahatma Gandhi. He's not alive to be on Arnab Goswami's show, right? Who?
Sir, if today we ask someone who's a real hero, the answer would be very lame. But if we ask a person who's a hero, they will take a superstar's name or someone.
Very nice. Thank you so much. What is your name?
Aditya Narayan Jha.
Aditya. Big hand for Aditya, please. So today, in today's world, a hero is mostly nothing but a mere celebrity. That's not my concept of a hero. They are far away from being heroes. They're far away from being heroes. But that does not mean that somebody who's famous cannot be a hero. But here comes the concept of real heroism. So what is the concept of real heroism? So let's get into the theme. The hero in you inspires the hero in me. And vice versa. But to do that, I need to live a life of purpose. I need to have a purpose in my life. And I need to make a contribution to make a difference in the world. Yes or no? Not because it is selfless. Not because it is selfless, but because it is selfish. If I'm not doing something to make a contribution in the world, am I creating a better world for my family? Yes or no? Then who's responsible for the world which has gone wrong? I am. Yes or no? Right? So that is my concept of real hero. And as I get into the theme, I'm going to tell you stories from two books. One is Mr. Jeet Paul's book, which is The Business of Life. It's a very inspiring book. And as I read it after Renu sent it to me, I realized that a lot of values, a lot of principles that Mr. Jeet Paul speaks about are principles that I also believe in, are values that I also believe in. I loved his humility. I loved his entire concept of how to avoid mindless recognition and being me, myself, and I, and trying to stay as humble as possible. Because humility has to be practiced. You can't really be humble. And the other book is a book I have written. It's called Karma Kari for the mind, body, heart, and soul, in which I've tried to tell stories of real heroes. And when I was launching the book at the India Non-Fiction Festival, there was a gathering of around 350 people. And people said, what made you write a book like this when everybody is writing about the Mahabharata secret or the Krishna key, because everybody's writing fiction? And I said, that's not my journey, because I don't like writing fiction. I want to write stories, true stories of real people, real life stories. And this has been a journey. This is not just a book. This has been a journey where I've met several people who are making an extraordinary difference in the world. And that is what makes them heroes. And I'll tell you a little about some of them. So when I was launching the book, I asked the people in the gathering, I said, I also have a hero who's a sports star. My favorite hero in the sports arena, he's my age, a champion in his own right, and has done huge things with a sense of purpose and a good intent to ensure that he does not mislead the youngsters with his endorsements and things like that. And in that gathering of 350 people, all the hands went up. And can you tell me whose name they took? Loudly. Sachin Tendulkar, right? And I said, no, please listen to me carefully. I said, it is a person my age, somebody who is alive, somebody who has good intent not to mislead people. I said, he's not a cricketer. And this man, 13 years ago, had said no to 3 crores of rupees when Pepsi asked him to endorse their product. Can you say Sachin now? No, right? Because Sachin endorses Pepsi, he now endorses Coke. But here is the sports champion who said no. He became a challenge for Pepsi. Pepsi said, raise the bar, buy him out. He said, you give me anything, I won't endorse your product because I do not want to mislead the children and the youth of this country to think that Pepsi is a healthy drink. Any idea who it was? Most youngsters don't even know his name. Saurav Ganguly would endorse anything. Sorry, I know I'm in his land, but don't beat me up. Yeah? Anyone else? Kapil Dev, my God. You guys are far from the truth. Sorry? Rahul Dravid. Okay, let me give you another clue. He's not a cricketer. Yes, in cricket, if anybody has great intent and integrity, it is Rahul Dravid. Pele, Indian sports star. Indian sports star. Most youngsters, most students, even most teachers don't know this man's name. Sorry? Leander Pace, no. Abhinav Bindra, no. This man has also given 6 champions to the country on his own cost. Mahendra Singh Dhoni, no. No. Not any cricketer, I said. Not any cricketer. Listen to me. Listen to me. Anyone else? Okay, let me give you a clue. Badminton player. Come on. Her guru. Pullela Gopichand. It takes courage to say no to money because you don't want to mislead the youth. That is heroism. Do you agree? Yes or no? Is courage about not having fear? Yeah? Is courage about not having fear? Is courage about being fearless? So that, what defines a hero? A hero is, you need to have the courage in that face of adversity to say no, to take a stand. And that's what Gopichand did. His parents said, what are you doing? We need the money. And he said, don't worry, I'll make the money. I don't want to mislead the youth of this country to think that Pepsi is a healthy drink. Can you see the strong intent? Right? So he had the right character and he had the right competence. Right? The competence to be an international champion, to do the right thing, and then give the country 6 champions on his own cost. Right? Now that's a real hero for me. So my book actually covers a whole lot of heroes. Right? And So I've told you what the meaning of a hero is. A hero is a person, a real hero is a person with a sense of purpose who makes a contribution to make a difference in our society. Right? Now let me tell you something about Mr. Jeet Paul. His book, The Business of Life. Yeah, the values which jump out, and we've unveiled his statue today. These are the values which actually kind of jump out of his book. All okay? All right. Make some noise. Okay? So the values which jump out are austerity, simplicity, family values, huge family values. Here is a man who was in the face of adversity, and he realized that he needs to do something to take his family forward. A lot of people may not have that kind of thinking, right? But this man had the thinking, and he took his family forward, had huge family values, with a lot of humility and fairness for one and all. He used to give equal time to one and all. And if you read the book, you'll see that these were the values which were inculcated in him by his parents, by his other family members. And while growing up, he even worked on his shop floor, cleaning the shop, cleaning the floors, right? How many of you would do that? How many of you would go out and clean the streets of India? How many of you have done that? Yeah? Karan, who's from the APJ group, and we actually worked on this and started the Kida Hai Kya movement to clean India. But not too many people have joined in as yet, not every Indian, because a lot of Indians, most schools are doing it, but it's become mandatory. We would like you to do it voluntarily, not because somebody enforces it on you. I remember I was teaching a course on ethical leadership in a B school called ISB around 7 years ago. And as a part of the ethical leadership course, I take the students out to clean the streets. I don't force them, nor do I give them any brownie points, yeah? And one student came up to me, and this is what I wrote in my book, and said, "Sir, I won't do it." I said, "Okay, no problem." I said, "I won't force you to do it, but tell me, why won't you do it?" And he said to me, he said, "You know, I'm an intellectual, I'm meant for better things." I said, "Okay, that's fair. Don't do it, there's no force, there's no coercion, yeah? But tell me, if not you, who will clean up your house? If not you, who will clean up your house?" I just asked him that one question. And then because I have a Kida, I pointed out the dean over there. His name was Dean Rao. I said, "Look at Dean Rao, he's removed his coat. He's got a broom in his hand. He's doing it voluntarily, but you're learning from a non-intellectual. Because you're an intellectual, you can't pick up the broom, but Dean Rao has picked up the broom." So we get limited with our mindset. The ordinary mindset where we get embarrassed to do the right thing and think it's cool to do the wrong thing, right? That's the mark of a hero again. A hero does the right thing, right? You don't need to be told. You do it voluntarily. How many of you volunteer? Let's have a show of hands. Why do you volunteer? Anyone who wants a microphone? Let's have her share her thoughts. Why do you volunteer?
Because I want a better society.
You want a better society for whom?
For me and my surrounding friends, family,
Very nice.
and my next generation.
So there is a element of selfishness in that, right?
Absolutely.
Very nice. It's good to be selfish. And I was very amazed to read this in Mr. Jeet Paul's book, because around 3 months ago I did a TED talk on the virtue of selfishness. And I said, when I'm selfish, it's about me. And if I do the right thing for myself, I will inspire others to do the right thing for them. So that's what selfishness means. I want you to be like me because I do the right thing, right? Agree? If I want respect, can I just get respect because I ask you to give me respect? Can I get respect because I ask you to give me respect? How do I get respect? By giving you respect, yes or no? So if I want respect, I need to give respect. Can I get love without giving love? Can I get trust without giving trust? Can all the money in the world buy me trust and respect? No, right? I can only do it by giving it, right? So it's good to be selfish. Thank you for bringing that out, right? Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
If not me, then who? If not now, then when?
Very nice. Very well summed up, very well quoted. If not me, then who? If not now, then when? We can't wait for change to happen. Can we stop change from happening? Yes or no? And what happens if we don't adapt with change? What happens if we don't adapt with change? Why do people not like change? No idea? Please, let's all stand up again. Let's all stand up again. Right? So are we ready for transformation? Yes or no? Right? So do me a favor, just spread out your hands like this. All of you spread out your hand. Okay? Be careful, don't slap each other. All right? Be careful, don't slap each other. All of you spread out your hands. All right? And very naturally, without thinking, okay? Very naturally, without thinking, bring your hands together so that one thumb comes over the other thumb. One thumb comes over the other thumb. Right? Have you done it? Some of you would have your right thumb above. Yes or no? Some of you would have your left thumb above. Right? Now, open your hands again. Open your hands again, all of you. Attention, please. Yes, open your hands again. And this time, very consciously, bring the other thumb above. Not the natural one. If you had your right thumb, bring the left thumb above. Right? Like I'll bring the left thumb above. Bring the other thumb above. Was it easy? Was it easy? Are you feeling comfortable? You're feeling some discomfort, right? It's a small change which has made you uncomfortable. Yes or no? Right? But if you do this regularly, will that discomfort still be there? I do this every day, so I don't feel uncomfortable. It's become natural for me. That's exactly how change works. If we wait for change to work on us, we might get broken. While if we work on change, we are better prepared for it. And that's transformation. Yes or no? So are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to be a hero? So what does it take to be a hero? Sorry? Hard work, courage, practice, sorry? Dedication. It'll take time, patience, believing in yourself, self-belief, modesty, right? So what did we all talk about? What did we just talk about? What are the things that you all said? You spoke about human values. Yes or no? So are we practicing the human values? Are we practicing human values? Think. Is the world practicing human values or materialistic values? Most people are defined by the car they drive, not by their values. Right? Most students over here, are you practicing human values? Or is it all about being me, myself, and I? Who am I? Most people don't know. 90% of the world does not know. I promise you that. It's a science of ontology. Who am I? Most people have never thought about it. You're still young. Most grown-ups have never thought about it. So how can you be practicing the human values when you don't know who you are? Right? That's one. How many of you know the fundamental rights of India? All right, very nice. Brilliant. Can any of you tell me how many fundamental rights are there? 6. Think again. 7? Okay. All right. Okay. We celebrate 26/11 every year. 26/11 every year as the Citizen Action Day. What is the significance of 26/11? Sorry? Santa Claus?
The terrorist attack of Mumbai.
The terrorist attack of Mumbai. Most people remember 26/11 for the terrorist attack of Mumbai, right? That date is significant, but it's not so important for me. Yes, a few people died. Yes. National? What day? Milk. Yes, it is also Dr. Varghese Kurian's birthday, and he's one of my heroes in Karmakari because he's one of our Karmaveer recipients. But we celebrate it as the Citizen Action Day because of what happened on 26/11/1949. The day our constitution was adopted in Parliament. How many of you have studied about the constitution? What's on the other side of the rights? Duties. How many of you know your fundamental duties? Can you tell me one? Can anyone tell me one? We have to offer service to the government when needed, he says. That's not true.
Respect the national flag.
Respect the national flag. You don't know all 11? You don't know all 11? Do you all know Justin Bieber's latest song? No? Whose song do you know, the latest song? So why don't you know your fundamental duties as citizens of India? Why? Why don't you know your fundamental duties as citizens of India? Most youngsters tell me, sir, nobody told us.
We have to give equality and justice to everybody.
Yes, that's a part of the right, right? So please go and study your fundamental rights and duties probably, because that's a responsibility, right? Okay, now there are 11 fundamental duties. 11.
our national anthem.
Yes, respect our national anthem, part of a fundamental duty, right? Okay, we'll stop here. What I'm trying to say is, are the fundamental duties important? Why? Because you have a responsibility as a citizen. If you're not fulfilling that responsibility, how can you blame the country for what is going wrong? Right? A lot of youngsters tell me, sir, nobody told us, we don't know. And I tell them, you made Sunny Leone the most searched person on the internet. So why can't you search for your rights and duties on the internet? Yes or no? Right? So please sit down. Thank you. I'm sure all of you know of Sunny. I told you about Mr. Jeet Paul and his values, and the same values is what most heroes embody. All right, shall we have your attention? Shall we come back to one meeting, please? Please sit down. I'm going to tell you about some real ordinary people who are doing extraordinary work. Some of the people about whom I wrote in my book, right? Okay? Do all of you believe that you have the same gifts and potential that every human being has? How many of you believe that? Yes or no? The rest of you don't believe that you have the same gifts? No? No? Okay. So I'm writing a small book. It's called Karishma the Miracle, right? In which my claim, my opinion is that every human being is born with the same gifts. All of us are born with the same gifts, but most of us don't open them. Why do we not open them? Because we are scared and fearful of change, right? Transformation. I have a very dear friend of mine. His name is Nick. Nick plays soccer. How many of you play soccer? All right? Very nice. Nick plays golf. How many of you play golf? No one as yet? Okay, we have one over there. All of you can also learn golf, right? Yes or no? Nick drives a car. How many of you will drive a car soon? Very nice. See, you have the same gifts. You have the same potential, right? Nick swims. How many of you swim? Very nice. See, you have the same potential as Nick, right? Nick dives from 40 feet. Dives from 40 feet. Perfect dive. Nick is now learning how to fly a plane. How many of you are learning how to fly a plane? You're learning how... Very nice, right? So what's so great, you will say, right? What's so great? Well, Nick, when he was 10 years old, tried to commit suicide. When Nick was 10 years old, he tried to kill himself. Because he was tired of his life. He didn't want to live. You know why he didn't want to live? He didn't want to live. I'll tell you why he didn't want to live later. And he tried to kill himself very creatively. He didn't consume poison. He didn't cut his wrists like they show you in Hindi movies. Yeah? He submerged himself in his bathtub and tried to drown himself. He couldn't withstand the pressure, so he came out of his bathtub. And the first time, he says, unfortunately, I survived. Unfortunately, I survived. The second time, he made up his mind that he will do it this time and he will kill himself, and very strong mindset is what he formed. And the second time, he ensured that he would do everything. So even tied up his hands before submerging himself in the thing, right? But there were no hands to tie. And there was nobody to tie his hands. So he submerged himself in the water and decided to go. And he would have killed himself. His mother saved him. And he says, fortunately, I lived. not survived. Fortunately, I lived. Now, the reason Nick did this is because Nick was born without any legs or hands. His name is Nick Vujicic. His name is Nick Vujicic. He's 39 years old today. And his biggest worry when I first met him in 2010 was, Jerry, I want to get married. And I would tell him, get married, Nick. All the women love you. And they really love him. And he would say, but Jerry, how will I hold her hand? And today he tells me, I'm holding her by the heart. He got married 2 years ago. So that's Nick Vujicic, a person born without legs and hands who's found his unlimited potential. So you all have the same gifts. And Nick is today a highly paid motivational speaker. Our paths cross a lot because we end up in the same forums. And high energy. I think I have high energy, but Nick has higher energy. And Nick has a 1-year-old son now. Very devoted to his wife. And you know why he became a motivational speaker? Because he says, I don't want anyone to think of killing themselves like I did when I was 10 years old. So he says, I want to tell the youngsters, stay strong. There will be hard moments, but don't break down. That's courage, right? Courage is knowing fear and still taking a stand, still standing up to it. That is what courage is. So Nick Vujicic, real hero. He is a co-writer in my next book called Karishma the Miracle. I have a Bengali lady in my book, and I'll tell you about her first. Her name is Subhashini Mistry. Very ordinary person, if you think about the way ordinary is defined nowadays, because those people don't get featured in media or on television or radio shows, right? And therein is my journey of telling stories of real heroes. Subhashini Mistry is what is called in most Indian households as a Kamwali Bai. You know a Kamwali Bai? Right? What does a Kamwali Bai do? Jadu, pocha, bartan. She scrubs utensils, washes clothes, scrubs floors, right? That's what Subhashini Mistry did for 20 years. After she lost her husband at the age of 43, when she was 43 years old, her husband died because of a small ailment called gastroenteritis. What is the ailment? Gastroenteritis, right? So her husband died because they didn't have money for health care. Most of us would have ended up cursing government, cursing doctors. Subhashini Mistry had no time to do that because now she had to fend for herself. She had to earn her daily money to live because her husband was the breadwinner. Most people would have probably given up on life. But Subhashini Mistry had huge grit, determination, and resourcefulness. She had already made up her mind that she is going to build a hospital. So she started, the only thing she could do is work in people's homes, scrubbing utensils, washing clothes, cleaning floors, right? She did that for 20 years, from the age of 43 to the age of 63. That was a day job. In the evenings, she would buy vegetables from the wholesale market and sell them on the streets of Kolkata, erstwhile Calcutta, right? And after 20 years, she saved 20,000 rupees. And with the 20,000 rupees, she built a small shed to provide free health care for people who are poor. Today, that small shed has become a big hospital. It's called the Hope Hospital. The Hope Hospital. And it doesn't stop there. She's educated people from a slum and made them into doctors and nurses. And they administrate the hospital today. She's 87 years old. It's a multifunction, state-of-the-art hospital. Subhashini Mistry, who's never gone to school. She's never gone to school like all of you, right? But they are all grateful for the life they have, and they've decided to make a difference in society. There's another man featured in my book whose name is Lakshman Singh. Lakshman Singh wears a white kurta, wears a white pajama, and starts at 4:30 in the morning. When he starts out from his house, by the time he's crossed 100 meters, 45 to 50 people have joined him. They're all going into another village to convert a wasteland into a wetland. A wasteland into a wetland. With indigenous farming methods. Lakshman has never gone to school again. But he has converted over 300 villages from wastelands into wetlands, and because of him, over 500,000 people have livelihood and dignity of life today. That's a real hero, right? So this is my idea of real heroes, I've given you some examples. Sir Jeet Paul also exemplifies the concept of real heroism because he lived a life of purpose. And to sum up, the hero in you is about finding your purpose, living the human values, and making a contribution to make a difference in our world. Thank you so much. Pleasure talking to all of you and great learning with all of you. Very grateful and highly obliged. Thank you.
Right, children, can you hear me? Okay, now I have been watching all of you sitting in the corners and sitting right here because we now want that we will be selecting 5 students who will be coming on stage and discussing with all of us in the mode of panel discussion along with Sir here leading the discussion. Is that all right? Yeah? So the 5 who have been checked out, I'm sure you know who the 5 are. So just gather your thoughts together. I think you already know. I can hear you whispering, oh my God, is it me? Yes, it's many of you. So gather your thoughts together while I will request Mr. Biman Bihari Das. He, as you heard, is a very renowned sculptor and he has made the statue of our sir for us. He would like to speak to you children. May I request Ritik Banerjee and Mr. Dipankar Roy, the art people, to please be here on stage. Sir, please.
My dear children, first I will say Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Hello.
And I'm extremely feeling thrilled that already Jerry has charged all of you with his vibrant lectures and topics and everything. I also charged myself. So, congratulations, Jerry.
Hello.
I just
Jimmy,
wants to tell you something.
as we prepare for the panel discussion,
Statue
please
you
come
have
up on stage.
already looking
Thank
at.
you. Please join Jerry.
Then I want to tell you the process of preparing the statues. All of you have got an art section. I think you do every day the art section with your art teachers, watercolors, sketches, drawing, modeling, and everything. But the statue has got a process you perhaps don't know. The first thing is, when you prepare a statue, the first medium will be the clay. So
welcome,
this
Jerry,
statue has
please.
prepared by me in my Delhi studio, my house in Delhi studio. I have brought all the Bengal clay, the very beautiful creamy clay from Bengal I have brought to Delhi. Then I started clay modeling just like this size. This size called a 1.5 life size, means 9 feet height, 9 feet. 9 feet height of the original. So similarly, I started the clay modeling with the structure, with the required structures and all that. Then it takes time to accurate the Jeet Paul's, the feature, resembles, essence, and the anatomy, and the drapery. So all has done in the clay modeling stage. Then the owner, I just took the few photographs of Sir Jeet Paul. Then I think the Madam Pitt Paul and her husband come to my studio to see the clay modeling, and they have checked, they have thoroughly seen the resembles, the accuracy, the other things, and the poses, and they liked, and ultimately they said, go ahead, means it's okay. After that, nothing is there, is a technical process. Technical process is that I prepared the plaster mold out of the clay modeling. Then out of the plaster mold, then I prepared a fiberglass model of the same. Listen to me carefully. Of the same. Then from the fiber model, then I will again go for the POP piece mold. From the piece mold, then I will take to my I have already I took to this fiber model to my casting processes, they're called furnace area, it's called the workshop where the molten metal will be rolled. There, the workers, the preparers, then casters, they will work hard together with the wax casting. The wax casting is the main and the ultimate, the process, the last process is the wax casting, and then wax casting will make again the mold, covered with the mold and put into the low heat furnace. Then the wax will melt, then molten metal will be poured into that. When it's several pieces, this has got about 11 pieces. Can you believe that? This is the one statue. That pieces are 11 pieces inside, and all these welded with the same metal and finishing and rubbing. Ultimately, the statues come with the same thickness and the height is. So this is the longest process of called a bronze statue. It's not easy. Just for a few days, it takes quite a lots of months to prepare the statue. And ultimately, when I installed the statue, that was the raw. Then I cleaned with the nitric acid, clean the statue. Then I put the chemicals. Then ultimate result you are watching. This ultimate result with these 3 chemicals inside, not color. This is not a color. It is a chemical reactions. Now the last word is, this is only because I want to tell you that this is a very hard task. This is not an easy job to, accurate the statue or the symbols and anatomical. You will have to take hard. So ultimate, I will never say that I have done this. I have attempted it. If all you have clicked that this is okay, this is very good, then my success will be okay. My hard work will be success. Thank you very much. And I'm also giving one thanks to the members of the APJ House Group, especially Preeti and her husband, and Bhiva Shanal, and Shekhar Srivastav, and all the members of the APJ House Group who has encouraged me, and thanks a lot to them. Thank you very much. And no, and I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry. I'm extremely sorry. I'm sorry. No. I'm extremely sorry. Sorry. Right. Sometimes while lecturing, sometimes I forgot of many things because maybe I forgot that.
We're just teasing you. We're with kids, so we're teasing you. Perfectly fine. Sir, and sir, we got to you. Thank you for the program that we have over here. You've been here early as our chief guest, and I got your phone number from Ritik and from Dipankar. So thank you both of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Not at all. So perfectly fine. So we're joking. We're with kids. No. It's okay. Okay, we have the panelists there. Will the panelists come up? Come.
Okay, we're just going to explain. Ma'am has already explained. Jimmy will join Jerry and all our panelists in talking about karma, character, and individual social responsibility. The mic will come to you also. Think about what you want to say.
My radio station every day, and every night when I used to go back home at 8:39, I used to see this young girl religiously studying under the street light. It was a daughter of a rag picker who was studying because she loved to study and she was getting an opportunity. And I would see her religiously for 12 years studying in the night under the street light with whatever little book she had. 12 in the first class in higher secondary. She went to college. She got into law college on her own gutsiness. And that rag picker's daughter today is a lawyer in the Calcutta High Court. And she still hasn't forgotten her karma and duty, because all the poor people who can't afford a lawyer, who can't pay for a lawyer, she does all their cases free. One thing we learn from this, guys, if you have it in you, you have the dedication, you can achieve it. As I said right in the beginning, it is you who will make yourself, of course with a lot of support. So make that difference. And one more thing I'd like to say, we are all human beings. That's not good enough. Please be human. I know it's career. I know it's chilla chilli. I asked you all a question. How many of you all are rude to your parents? And 50% put up their hands. Start within, start in your house, and it will make a difference. Believe in yourselves. Even if the worst situation comes in front of you, believe in yourself. And trust me, it'll become a simple task. Don't get tense about your exams. God, I've got my selections tomorrow. Believe in yourself, and you see how smoothly it passes. That's all I had to say. And we have these, quite a few of them. Okay. We believe in a lot of things, right, guys? Girls, of course. Right now, we are all believing in careers, and we need to do a first class, and we need to study hard, and we need to become big people. Successful people, yes. We need to become successful people. We need to understand from your mind. You know, when you were 5 years before, you all must have said, I want to do BCom, I want to become a businessman, I want to become a model, I want to become a creative art director. I want you all, in a single line, or in a couple of words, I think, which is very important. You are going to become what you're going to become. But how? Let me word it and phrase it. Will you make a difference in your life? And in people's lives. Over to Jerry, who would like to say a couple of lines also on this intonation, so then you all can start talking.
So before they start, let me ask you, how many of you know the meaning of the word mojo? Do you have the mojo? Yes, sir.
The drive, basically.
The drive, but where does the drive come from?
Within.
Mojo is the inner security, the inner aura. It comes from character, the value system. How many of you know the word Josh? All of them, Josh. What does Josh mean?
Excitement.
Confidence.
Zealous, creative, enthusiasm. If you don't have enthusiasm to do something, the spirit is not there. It won't happen. How many of you know the meaning of the word Junoon? What does Junoon mean?
To do something in life.
To passionately, obsessively pursue something. If you don't have a purpose, you can't find your success. Here's the mantra. Your success is rooted in purpose. Remember that always. Over to you.
You can start it. Just give your name, okay, which class are you in, and just hoot off. Okay? Don't tension nahi hone ko life mein. You know, the first thing, guys, you want to succeed in life, you want to put up all the josh and the spirit, you want to do something, please never feel scared even if you're alone in the battlefield. Because if you're scared, it's over. It's good to feel scared because you improve yourself, but never let it pull you down. So let's rock. Give your name, just speak your mind out. You know, you got to speak on what do you want to do in life, how do you want to make a difference, whatever you want to say. Dil se baat kar, sab cool ho jayega.
My name is Raghav Poddar. I'm from class 6D, the Assembly of God Church School. I want to become an engineer and make buildings so that the poor people can stay in places, they won't stay in roads and can have an home. This can make a difference in my life. I will be happy to see them living their lives.
Very nice. Brilliant. Thank you. I hope all of you will embody that spirit.
You know, this is amazing. Now, let me tell you what's happened in the city of Mumbai. A real estate guy did it, but he did it. There was an entire slum in one of the prime areas which were removed. And what he did, he created 5 towers for all the slum dwellers in one part, and his so-called construction in the other part. But he is one of the first real estate guys who've actually provided accommodation and towers to the poor people. And when I look at those towers, I feel like, oh, wow, those guys are lucky. They're staying in better accommodation than most of us. Now,
हमको अपने लाइफ में बिजनेसमैन बनना, आगे बढ़ के बहुत तरक्की करना है, और इसके लिए थैंक यू.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Businessman बन के भी अच्छा ही करना है ना? First class.
I am Tanvi Sarana from the Heritage School. I want to educate people. Some people, not hundreds, not thousands, say 10 people. We can start like that and then a chain will go on.
Very nice, Tanvi. Brilliant. So at this point, let me tell you about a dear friend of mine. How many of you have ever engaged with auto walas, auto rickshaw walas? Yeah, you have? You've spoken to them? There are auto drivers, and there are auto drivers who followed Arvind Kejriwal, and there are auto drivers who followed Anna, and then there is an auto driver called Sandeep Bachche. Sandeep Bachche rides an auto rickshaw in Bombay. He was the only person when people were being driven away from Bombay because they were from UP and Bihar who stood up with them. Shah Rukh Khan and Sachin Tendulkar didn't stand up with them. He stood up with them and said, he's a Maharashtrian himself. ये हमारे भाई बंधु हैं, कहीं नहीं जाएंगे. They broke his rickshaw down. Now what does Sandeep Bachche do? He runs the Sandeep Bachche Foundation. He's a auto driver who earns 500 rupees a month, but he gives away 50% of his earnings, 500 rupees a day, 50% of his earnings to orphanages and elderly homes. Everyone who sits in his auto gets educated about secularism. He says, ये सब एक symbol है, भगवान नहीं है, भगवान आपके अंदर है. He educates everybody who sits. He gives free rides to elderly people and disabled people. So he does whatever he can while he rides his auto. He's a hero, right? Small things make the big difference.
Absolutely. And I'd just like to share something exactly on the lines she took off. Now let me tell you, there are a group of students in the city of Kolkata, spread over 3 areas, and they share this education stint themselves. Every night, in turn, in these 3 areas, these class 11, 12 students.
After Jimmy asks someone to share what they want to do, I'm going to share, get someone from the audience to share. So we're going to counter them, right? And I can't come to everybody, but I'll come to one of you.
That I'd save lives. Then I saw Iron Man, and I wanted to be an engineer so that I could actually make that suit, which is not going to happen. The humanities, you know, like literature and particularly geography. And I realized that so many people are afraid of addressing an audience as large as this. You know, so it would be really nice if I could do something to help those people overcome their fears as such. For example, if you had approached me a few years ago and asked me to come on stage and address everybody, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I really want to help people overcome their fears in that way.
Thank you so much. Somebody from the audience, who wants to tell us what you want to do? Not just when you grow up, but from now on. All right, I'm standing right next to you, so let's go with you.
My name is Mukund.
Is the hero in me, right? Very nice.
When I was a child of 5 years, I saw my father giving beggars eating means food. Then I thought that I will make buildings and will make things that would help beggars to study and means live in a peaceful life.
Thank you. What's your name?
Mukund.
Mukund, thank you so much.
Jay, we have someone out here.
Yes.
Who wants to? Okay, go ahead.
Let's go ahead.
My name is Subrayati Naskar from 7. I have a target to be a mathematician.
Very nice, brilliant.
We should help poor people, those who don't have money, clothes, we should try to give them.
Very nice, and he's provoked a thought in me. Who gave the world the concept of nothingness? Aryabhatta, the zero, right? An Indian concept again, something to feel proud about. Let's go ahead.
Superb. Oh, I like this. I like this symbol out here. Sunshine? Sun? What?
Thank you.
Yes, South City International. I'm Rudranju Sen Gupta and I'm a student of South City International School.
All right.
So like my colleague over here, I'm pretty much confused about my future, you can say that. Like, at one time I wanted to be a chef, and at another time I wanted to be Spider-Man, and at another time I wanted to be James Bond. But listen, there's a huge amount of confusion. regarding our future. But I've realized now I've got a steady path, you can say that I want to be an educationist and teach people about the real meaning of education, because I think people misinterpret education as a whole.
Very nice, thank you. A teacher, I promise you, is the most noblest profession. I do a lot of work with a lot of teachers, and some teachers feel that they're doing thankless jobs because parents don't appreciate them. And I say, feel the mojo, feel the power within. Because I created a program for teachers which says, not just teachers.
There was this guy in Calcutta who passed his PhD, brilliantly educated. He did not get a job. So what he does, he starts pulling a rickshaw. He still pulls a rickshaw. Appreciate and salute that guy who's so brilliantly educated but didn't get a job. He said, no, I will do to fend myself. He still pulls a rickshaw. Whatever he earns, 50% he gets books for the children in his locality, and every night this rickshaw puller who is PhD educated teaches the poor kids in his locality and is from the city of Kolkata. That's the way people make a difference.
And that's a life.
That's what it is.
Brilliant. Very nice. So we have a young girl here. What's her name, ma'am?
Shujita.
Yes. Tell us, what do you want to do to you? Right? So, I'm sorry.
Courage to know. This is the line on his jacket. Courage to know. Amazing. So just go ahead and express yourself.
I am Jubraj Mukherjee from South Point High School, and I am in class 9. So, quite honestly, I am quite interested in guns actually. So, from my childhood, I was interested in guns, and I wanted to join the army. Yes, sir, guns. And I wanted to join the army.
I'm here.
And now also I have the same dream, and I think
Listen
after
to them.
and
Okay, please listen to them. Please listen to them. I will come to you. Please, if you don't listen to them, you're not. There's respect is mutual. It's a two-way street. Yeah.
And about what you want to do, I want to introduce you to two gentlemen in my team, Anirban Datta and Sumit Das Gupta. Can you come forward, please? Please come. I want to tell you a very small thing quickly. So, Sumit Das Gupta is educated in many things, and he is leading the individual social responsibility program, which urges people to volunteer their time and professional skills. He never thought he's going to be doing it, but he's doing it now. So your passion can lead you to other places, but you need to keep the passion alive. Anirban Datta, can I have you in front, please? Anirban is a designer, believe it or not. He's a graphic freaking designer. And he's the lead ISR. Okay? Just plain and simple passion. No professional qualifications. That's all I wanted to say.
Amazing. This is amazing. And I'll just, talking about passion, as I told you in the beginning, I come from a business family. I got into DJing by mistake. I got into radio by mistake. But it's a passion for me. I love my job and I enjoy it. So I'm doing it. Those days, DJing was like, bhalo kaj nahi. But we did it because we love it. You need to love what you do, because if you love what you do, you will make a difference. And trust me.
And you're never working a single day in your life.
Well, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Good afternoon to everyone. I am Dijit Das of class 8. And I want to say that my target is that to become a doctor. And I want to help all the poor peoples, those who are suffering, and they didn't have any money for their checkup. I want to help that poor peoples so that they become, so that they save her life and lead her life very nicely. So I want to help all the peoples. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we'll have somebody from the audience. We'll go with you. Keep it brief because we need to wind up in the next 10 minutes. Half a minute.
I think that my little inventions will benefit my country people and also the people of the world hugely. I want to be the person who want to be first. I don't want to be the second person who want to be second Einstein.
Thank you so much. What's your name? Mritika, it doesn't matter whether you're number one. What matters is the difference you make. So the little things make the big difference. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Ashmita Shikdar from Gokhale Memorial Girls School. What I would like to share with all of you is that I would like to be an archaeologist when I grow up. And in course of reading history, what I have found very inspiring is that when man first emerged on this earth, what did he have? He had nothing, absolutely nothing. And he chose to form a good world, a better world out of that. So in today's world, we have so many amenities. Why can't we make it a better world? If they could have done that in that adverse situation, we can very easily change the world with the present science and technology.
Over to you, Jimmy.
Yeah, you know, I want to share another small reaction. There was this child, there was this boy who was again going for his higher studies. He was falling short of money. So the entire locality came together and contributed. Still, they were falling short of 10,000 rupees. And something really, a miracle happened. Something really awesome happened. There was this beggar who was on the street for the last 40 years in that locality. They were actually not getting 10,000 rupees, just that small amount so that the person could pay for his admission fee into medicals. That beggar, this is when it comes to joy of giving.
The joy of giving.
That beggar contributed his entire life savings of coins, which was about 10,238 rupees. He said, I've lived my life for 40 years. I will be going sometime. Let me make a difference in someone's life. And this happened in the outskirts of the city of Kolkata. See the warmth and the closeness, where a gentleman does not even get food to eat.
Very
But he
nice.
thought about giving his entire life savings of coins for this child's education. And that's what is the difference, guys.
Thank you, Jimmy. Jimmy, at this point, I know a lot of you want to share your thoughts, but if you're not listening to people out there and others who are talking and keeping, not if you raise your hands.
I'm Srija Majumdar from the same school as Jubaraj from South Point High School. I'm in 9. I want to have a small company of mine where people don't work for money. People love to work. Because as my father has said, he has always encouraged me to do so. He said, work for people. At least if 2, then it's fine. But we have to do so.
Brilliant. Work for people. Work to make a difference. You know, we are not going to get rich and take all our money with us when we leave the earth. We need to make a difference. Just imagine. It's so nice to see people around you smiling and happy. If you spread joy, it's happened with me many a times, you spread joy, you will have the happiest life right across. Because if you get thousands of smiles around you, you'll always be happy and smiling.
This is Labib from APJ School. So since everyone has been talking about giving free education, free houses to everyone, I would just like to share an incident. Once I was in a train and I was having my lunch and I left a lot of food uneaten. So that was kept near the toilet, and after half an hour, I saw a kid of my same age eating my leftover. So the first night I cried a lot, thinking about my desires, my wants and my needs, and thinking about his desires, his wants and his needs. The second day, I pledged to myself that even if I don't make it big, I don't know how, I don't know what I'll do, but somehow I will make a difference. I will make a difference.
Thank you. And someone from the audience.
Jerry, where this comes in, I'd just like to share one thing. The mantra we've been trying to spread in the city.
Okay.
All you students are here. You can make a difference. How? If every family cooks an extra meal, you have 4 people in your family, if you cook an extra meal, and just imagine your entire locality of 1,000 families cooking 1,000 extra meals in your locality. 1,000 kids are going to have a wholesome meal. Think about it. Go across. Cooking an extra meal will not make a difference to you, but it will make a difference to that young child on the street who's hungry. You don't expect those kids to study or live life if they're hungry. पहले पेट भरो फिर दिमाग भरो, ऐसे ही लाइफ चलता
Jimmy,
है.
a small caveat. It will also make a difference to you because you will experience the joy of
Yes,
giving.
joy of giving. Absolutely.
Very nice. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, we have someone here who has to share.
Hello everyone, my name is Ritangshu This is more important than money to be happy.
Very nice. Ritangshu wants to become an artist to show the people a new world where they can be happy. He's brought on a very important quotient, the happiness quotient.
Absolutely.
And I'm reminded of a story about John Lennon. You all know John Lennon? From a group called the Beatles. Imagine. But I'm biased. I love the Beatles, but I think John gave his best music after he broke away from the Beatles. And I remember that's how Jimmy and I met. Because when I started the Joy of Giving movement in 2003, I Indianized the Imagine song. Right? Na 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 na. Imagine all those people. Remember? So John was asked in the school by his teacher when he was very young, tell me, John, what do you want to be when you grow up? And John, you know, was a Mastamalang Maula. He loved his music. He didn't really care about the money and the riches. Even at the height of his career, he used to go and wear a disguise and sing in the metro because he used to get his kicks from there. And his teacher asked him, tell me, John, when he was around 9 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he thought for a couple of seconds and said, teacher, I want to be happy. And the teacher said, John, you not understood my question. And he turned around and said, teacher, you've not understood my answer. Because the happiness is within, not outside. It's not in the BMW car or the Mercedes. It's within. Mojo. Thank you. Over to you, Jimmy.
You know what? Talking about being an artist, when you look at bright colors, don't you feel happy? When you walk into a place brightly lit up, don't it gives you energy? Colors make a difference in life too. Small things, a beautiful art, you look at it. You look at the natural nature, you see a beautiful waterfall, you feel so enlightened with it. Small ways of happiness come across, the smallest things in life make a difference. Remember that.
Namaste everyone, I'm Kusumika Nagar from Avinav Bharati High School. Well, I want to share an incident with all of you out here. When I was in class 8, I was very confused what I want to be in life. So one day my father came to me and asked me, what do you want to be in life when you grow up? I said, I don't know. So my father said, no matter what, just be a good human being. Money doesn't matter. If you can make a person smile every day, you will lead a happy life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very nice. You have to be a good human being, not to be confused with Salman's being human. Right? We need to be a good human being. Thank you so much. Yes, we have somebody over here to share, Jimmy.
Namaste everyone. I am Nimisha June from Army Public School, Kolkata. What I would like to aspire to become is a fearless writer. In today's world, I want to spread out the message of tolerance, something that our world completely lacks in.
Wait, now what's her name?
I'm Nimisha.
Nimisha, thank you so much. Shika ji, are you listening? She wants to become a fearless writer. Join the breed. Be fearless because you have to write the truth. The truth cannot be compromised. Thank you so much.
I am Paulami Goli of the same school. And I would like to say, first of all, we have to become a good human. Like, everyone should be a helpful person. We should help poor people. Nowadays, when I come from my home, like, I see so many beggars are there in the street. Like, every day I try to give them some, like, food. Like, if I am chocolates, when they, like, sometimes I carry with me. So I give them. I just feel so happy about seeing their happiness. It's like, make me cry and, like, nothing to say. And I would like to quote the lines of John Lennon. Like, someday or the other, you will be joining me.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you.
Years more. I've got no disease. I can dance. I can do everything.
Very nice. Brilliant. He's alive! He's alive!
I want to clean this world, our globe, our earth, not by broom. I want to clean the mind. The mind has to be cleaned. As the girl said, you must enjoy only 10% from consumption, 90% from art, music, dance.
Very
Then
nice.
you will be a real
Absolutely
human.
true. And I
Then you will be a
promise
real
you, the
human.
reason I say he's alive is because I see 30-year-olds who are already in the box. I promise you, 90% of the world is existential. They're not alive. Alive is a different feeling. It comes from the mojosh and the junoon and the joy of giving. So thank you so much.
Another thing, I want to clean the risks to the nature. We have spoiled the nature like anything. And that, if that is not done, within 15, 20 years, we will be all gone.
Very true.
I have planted more than 4 lakh trees. I have distributed 70,000 books for agriculture. This is what is to be done.
Very true.
And
Brilliant.
unless we save the earth and the nature, nothing will happen.
So what is your
So
name?
You must.
What is your
My
name?
name is Ram Karan Gupta, and for the sake of helping, I have married. When I married my daughter, my granddaughter, I married 8 more daughters.
Very nice. Brilliant. A big hand for Mr. Gupta. A big hand for Mr. Gupta.
My another
Thank you, sir.
grandson, I
Thank you,
married
sir.
more
Thank you.
sons.
He reminds me of an old Native
And-
American
and
saying.
My name is Ram Karan Gupta, 968110669.
Please call him and plant trees along with Mr. Gupta.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta.
Thank you. Be alive. Mojosh. You can see the Mojosh.
Last
Right?
1 minute.
Mojo and Josh.
You remember your own name? You remember your own name? Call your name. Loudly call your name. Shout your name out. Call. No, okay. Now you call your name as your mother calls. Just imitate how your mother calls you. Imitate that and call your name in like that.
Very nice,
As your
sir.
mother-
Thank you, Mr. Gupta. We'll have to.
As your father calls, call like that.
Sir, we'll have to conclude.
Okay.
We'll have to conclude.
Thank you so
Thank you so much. All right. Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Brilliant.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Namaste.
Thank you
Jai
so
Hind.
much.
Yeah. So the Native American said, service is the rent we pay to occupy a space on earth, and that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from the children. The earth belongs to you, the grown-ups are spoiling it. Save it. There was a 12-year-old girl called Severin Suzuki, another dear friend of mine. She's not 12 years anymore. She's 34 years old. In 1992, she bought her own ticket and flew from Vancouver to Rio de Janeiro to address the World Assembly. She was 12 years old, and she gave a 5-minute speech, and it is very popular on YouTube as the girl who silenced the world for 5 minutes. And the message of the speech was, if you can't fix it, don't break it. And she was talking to UN world leaders and business people. And guess what? 23 years later, the world is more broken because the grown-ups were not listening. The world belongs to you. You are the future leaders. Save it. The onus is on you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And each one of you can make a difference. Start it from within. Don't throw the plastic on the streets. Don't throw the paper around. Don't spit on the, it's very, very simple, guys. Start it from within. The beauty will spread.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Brilliant participation. Thank you. Very grateful. Highly obliged. Great learning. Brilliant. Thank you,
so much,
everybody.
sir.
Thank you for
Thank you so
participating.
much.
Please sit down. Please sit down. You may sit down here. You may
Sit down, absolutely, yeah.
Done, sir. Done. Now done. Now.
Okay, now let me tell you one thing. I just hope after today,
Thank you so much.
you'll make that little difference and make that little difference a bigger difference, step by step.
All right. So the process of transformation has begun. Has it begun? Yes or no? Brilliant. Okay. So we are going to conclude with a simple pledge. Everyone wants India to change, right? Yes or no? And everyone wants to make you believe that the few politicians and bureaucrats have spoiled India. Yes or no? I disagree. We, the citizens, have not done our bit to change India. And this is the small pledge we'll all take. Please stand up.
It's a good exercise. Don't worry. Thoda sa effort karo. Sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. I can see it in your faces, Phil. Anyhow, this is important. And whatever pledge we take today, it's not just a one-day pledge. Please live by it.
It's got to live in the heart. No jingoism. What you watch on TV, beat up Pakistan. No. Pakistan also has human beings like us. Patriotism is about understanding what is wrong and addressing the roots of that wrong, not just attacking the flames of the fire. You never firefight. You never fight a fire by attacking the flames. You attack the base. No one wants to do that because it's more difficult. It takes more courage. Okay, the pledge is very simple. Do you all want India to change? Yes. Then where does change start? It starts with you and I. So here's the simple pledge, and I would request one and all, not just the young leaders, but my friends, my fellows, my peers, all the teachers, everybody in this gathering, okay, Jimmy included.
I request everybody on the other side also to kindly stand up.
Yes.
Everybody, the teachers, everybody kindly be up.
Please stand up. You all stand up for the Jana Gana Mana, I hope. A lot of people don't. Well, that's another story. Yeah. Okay. So here's the pledge. And this is as a tribute that we'll start this over here and we'll take this to the world, to Sir Jeet Paul. I change to change India.
I change to change India.
Because when India changes, I will also benefit from the change.
I will also benefit from the change.
I promise and pledge
I promise and pledge
to exercise my individual social responsibility,
to exercise my individual social responsibilities,
practice my human values,
practice my human values,
and fulfill my fundamental duties as a citizen.
and fulfill my fundamental duties as a citizen.
Jai Hind!
Jai Hind!
Jai Hind!
Jai Hind!
Jai Hind!
Jai Hind!
Let's heal the world!
Let's heal the world.
Thank you!
You know, everybody knows the Michael Jackson song? Heal the world? You know, it's great when I talk about music, I always say yes with a smile. Genuinely think about it. When you go out there today, all of you all going back to school, all of you all maybe going back home in the evening, if every one of you all simply can get a smile on someone's face, we'll have 1,000 more, 2,000 more happy people in the city
Absolutely.
today.
That's all
Make
it
that
takes to make a difference.
Make
The
that
small
difference.
things make the big difference. I promise you that. It's
Okay.
those little small things.
I need those, the guy who gave that sound effect, where is he? Here? Yeah, please come on, please come on. Who?
R.D. Burman, is it?
Where's he? Is he here? Yeah, come on, come on. So what we're going to do is, I've decided, okay, we've decided to end with a smile, end with a lot of happiness. This is so much we need to do. And right now we are just a drop. We have to fill the entire ocean. So we decided to end today, right ma'am? We'll end today with a rap, with your permission. You want us to end with a rap? Oh yeah, it's time to say goodbye. Everybody to the left, to the right, you'll say it. Let's come on to say it, pray it. Everybody, can I have a pledge that whatever we did today, whatever we spoke today, we will do it. Can I hear a big loud yell? Everybody hands up in the air. Say that we are going to say swear to the beat. We will do it right. We will change and make a difference tonight. Not only tonight, but every day of our life. We are going to say swear. Swear to the good, the betterment of India. Everybody who can just do it right. Okay guys, hands up in the air for
Thank you and Jai Hind. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Honored, humbled, and learnt a lot.
We will end with our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, all of us, we will start. Jana Gana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkal Banga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchchal Jaladi Taranga Tav Shubh Name Jage Tav Shubh Ashish Mage Gahe Tab Jaya Gata Jana Gana Mangal Nayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He. Thank you. Well, thank you so much. Thanks to the one and only Jeet Paul. today the unveiling of the statue, the unsung hero, which will actually bring about a hero in you.
And thank you to everybody in the Apijay group, the Paul family, all the teachers, Mrs. Chatterjee, and all the students, the future leaders over here. Thank you so much for making this a great event. Thank you so much. It's all your participation that mattered.
You know, ma'am, just before. You know what?
Thank your principals for allowing you to come on a working day and being here with us. Thank you once again. I hope to meet you again next time when Oxford Bookstore has a program and they tell us and we tell you when we get together again, okay? Thank you so much and a good afternoon. Children, when you leave on your way out, there are little refreshment packets for you to take home, okay? Thank you so much. Yay!